Hey friends, happy Saturday, 24th of July. I hope that you're well. I hope that for those of you who work regular work weeks, you might have some time for some rest and some recreation. Today is the memorial of, I don't know how to say his name correctly. I say Saint Charbel Marclouf, the hermit of Lebanon. I'll tell you just a second about him. I don't know. I always am a little bit embarrassed. Tomorrow's my birthday. I turned 42 tomorrow, so today's the last day of my 41st year. Let me tell you about Saint Charbel. Saint Charbel was born in 1828 in a small mountain village in northern Lebanon. He became a monk of the Maronite rite, so that they are in union with Rome. They are an Eastern ritual church that preserves their own discipline, their own law, and their own celebration of the liturgy while still being in union with Rome. So he was ordained a priest in 1859, and then for the last 23 years of his life, he spent his life as a hermit. And there were temptations to wealth and to luxury, but he lived a life of simplicity and poverty and reliance upon God. He's known as the Hermit of Lebanon. So Saint Charbel Marclouf, just one of those kind of random saints of the modern or more modern era that might call to us in some ways to let go of some of the trappings of modern life and to rely on God. At least that's what I hear. All right, first reading, book of Exodus. We have the people entering into a deeper relationship with God, right? And so last week, maybe a couple weeks ago, we would have had the story of Abraham and God walking through the severed carcasses, the parted carcasses, in order to enter into covenant. And that was God making promises to Abraham. Now the people are taking upon themselves the law, and they are being initiated into this sacred covenant with the sprinkling of the blood. And just to imagine that, right? Your clothes, your hair, your head, all of it covered with the blood in order to signify that we are incorporated into God. Maybe that prayer of imagination, to just be in that scene, to experience it, and to know relationship with God, and to be incorporated into the sacred promises of God. That might be a place, a way to pray with that. Gospel, right? We have the culmination of, We have the story of the weeds and the wheat. There we go. Another useful gospel to perhaps pray with our imagination. This is one of the ways to acknowledge both the goodness of God, who sows good seed in the field, and yet the presence of evil, the presence of pain, suffering, hardship. And that could be out in the field of the world, but also as we are called to be like our Creator, there might be that place inside of us that all we want to do is rip up the weeds. And perhaps our God says, allow even the weeds within our own life to trust that the harvest of the kingdom, that the good seed that has been sown into us will bear the harvest of fulfillment, the harvest of the kingdom. We can at times fight against God, thinking that we will make ourselves perfect, removing all the weeds of our own life that we expect, just to find that actually we are fighting against the Lord. So maybe we spend a little bit of time, whether that's acknowledging the divided heart, still that what's the word? Inclination towards towards evil, or perhaps we would look out and the darkness in our world that we're wrestling against, that we're fighting against, recognizing that all of it is part of God's plan for the harvest of the kingdom. All right, happy Saturday. My last day of camping. If everything works right, I should be waking up this morning in the Grays River and then coming back to celebrate sacraments and get back at it. Time to kick some butt and serve the kingdom. All right, Let's pray for each other, and let's especially pray for folks that are having a hard time these days. God bless y'all.